Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the ceremony to launch the Faculty of Engineering of the University of Colombo. To commence the proceedings, may I invite the following distinguished invitees to light the oil lamp. Senior Professor Kapila C.K. Pereira, Secretary, Ministry of Education, Sri Lanka. Senior Professor Chandrika N. Vijayaratna, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Colombo. Professor Shervanti Homer Vaniyasingham, Professor of Engineering and Surgery, University College London, and Senior Research Advisor, University of Colombo. A representative of the Institution of Engineers, Sri Lanka. Mr. J.M.U.B. Jayasekara, representing the Council of the University of Colombo. Dr. Pratibha Mahanamaheva, Rector, Sri Pali Campus. Senior Professor Upul Sonnadara, Dean, Faculty of Science. Senior Professor Vajira H.W. Disanayaka, Dean, Faculty of Medicine. Professor K.P. Hevagamage, Director of the University of Colombo School of Computing. Professor P.B. Galhena, Director, Institute of Biochemistry, Molecular Biology and Biotechnology. Senior Professor Nalin De Silva of Faculty of Science, University of Colombo, and Chairman of the Curriculum Development Committee of BSc Honours Bioengineering. Senior Professor U.G.A. Puswevala of the University of Moratuwa and Lead Consultant, Establishment of Faculty of Engineering, University of Colombo. Mr. K.A.S. Edward, Registrar of the University of Colombo. Dr. D.C. Kurupu, Acting Librarian of the University of Colombo. Mrs. K.S.T.S. Jayasuriya, Burza of the University of Colombo, and a student representative from the Faculty of Science. Thank you very much. May I kindly request from the audience to rise for the national anthem. Thank you very much. And now, may I invite Senior Professor Nalin De Silva of the Faculty of Science, University of Colombo, and Chairman of the Curriculum Development Committee of BSc Honours in Bioengineering to welcome the audience.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for inviting me to give the welcome address. And absolutely, it is my privilege and great pleasure on behalf of the University of Colombo to welcome you here today. Absolutely delighted to have you with us to participate and share this special occasion, the launch of the Faculty of Engineering, University of Colombo. Thank you very much for coming even with the COVID situation in the country. And also thank you for the people who joined via Zoom for this occasion. Let me first, before I officially welcome participants, why do we need, I'm sure Madam will explain further in detail, but we are going through a technological revolution, and the country like Sri Lanka missed various technological revolutions, like the industry after the Second World War, industrial revolution, and then the biotechnology revolution, and then the IT, and all revolutions we missed. Missed means we are having the greatest scientists in the world, but at the same time something is wrong somewhere. So, but if you look at how the world moves now, we are talking about the technological singularity, where all things will merge into one platform. The 4 technologies that will shape up the planet next 20 years, the biotechnology, nanotechnology, artificial intelligence, robotics, and all are part and parcel of the engineering discipline. I mean, we are as a university of Colombo, we are a so powerful entity with all the 9 faculties, but we lack the engineering faculty. Where the Faculty of Science, Faculty of Medicine, we do a lot of innovations, but we always find a gap when it comes to the technology, because the next 20 years, that the technology is the key. To do that, we need the Faculty of Engineering. In particular, in this context, in comparison to the other engineering faculties, we have come across with the bioengineering program, where the Madam Vice Chancellor gave the leadership to this program, and I was appointed as the chairman of the curriculum development. Going to be a huge challenge, because it's a new concept where we are bringing towards the Faculty of Engineering. So basically, we are at a juncture where the country needs science and technology to develop. There is no future for us without science and technology, and in that context, Faculty of Engineering is bridging the gap between the science and the medicine towards the products or the industrial, contributing to the industrial revolution in the country. So basically, that's my preamble to the welcome speech, where we all have to see. I mean, this is, I always tell, another 20 years time, most of the jobs are redundant because of the robotics and the artificial intelligence and so on. So you have to be very smart in the future. But getting the number high is not a very big factor. The most important thing is to get a quality education and give our younger generation to flourish with these technologies. With that context, I would really like to, I have written down if I miss some names. You know, we are honored to have here the senior professor, Professor Kapila Pereira, Secretary to the Ministry of Education. He is an esteemed specialist in engineering, specialty in the area of energy, where we talk about the major crisis that we face in next 20 years, the energy crisis, food crisis, water crisis, the computing power, solutions for diseases such as COVID, cancer. All these things are very important. So he's a specialist in energy, where we have to appreciate his effort as an engineer. I would also like to welcome Professor Ananda Jayawardena joining through Zoom. I know he's the chairman of Engineering and Architecture Standing Committee of University Grants Commission. And also it's my pleasure to welcome Professor Vasanthi Arsaratnam, member of University Grants Commission. And also I understand that the Professor N.D. Gunawardena, Vice Chancellor, University of Moratuwa, is also joining through Zoom. I would like to welcome him as well. And also Professor Sujeeva Amarasena, and is the Vice Chancellor of University of Ruhuna. I would also like to welcome him as well. And also this effort to set up the engineering faculty, Madam appointed a lead consultant group from Moratuwa, and we have been discussing this Faculty of Engineering for a long time, but the pragmatic initiative took by Madam to appoint the correct consultants from the Faculty of Engineering, Moratuwa University. Professor UGA Pusavela is also, I'm cordially welcome him, lead consultant to develop the engineering curriculum of University of Colombo. Also a warm welcome to the other distinguished co-consultants of the engineering degree program. And my pleasure to welcome Professor Shevanthi Homa Vanikasingam, and she has been with us ever since we started the bioengineering program from March, and all the way from University College London. Yesterday you landed and you are here today. Thank you very much, Madam, for gracing this occasion. She played a pivotal role in developing the bioengineering curriculum. Indeed, my pleasure to welcome Vice Chancellor, Senior Professor, Professor Chandrika Vijayaratna. And I'm not going to talk about too much about her contribution. I mean, it was a vision that her brought in to develop the bioengineering using the in-house capabilities. That is where the Faculty of Science, Faculty of Medicine, IB, MBB, and also the School of Computing. And that unit, and we managed to put up a brand new curriculum, first time in Sri Lanka, and within 4 to 5 months, yeah. Thank you, Madam, for that great initiative and giving the leadership. And also I would like to warmly welcome all deans here, and the rector, and all the directors, council members, registrar, bursar, and the librarian, and all other administrative staff present here. Also, last but not least, the bioengineering curriculum development team, 2 of my members are here, and all other members are joining through Zoom. And also some student representatives are here, so all of you are welcome here, and I wish all the best for you, and have a pleasant evening, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Next, may I invite Senior Professor U.G.A. Puswevala of the University of Moratuwa and Lead Consultant, Establishment of Faculty of Engineering of the University of Colombo to address the audience.
Very good afternoon to all of you. Senior Professor Kapila Pereira, Secretary to the Ministry of Education, Senior Professor Chandrika Vijayaratna, Vice Chancellor of University of Colombo, Professor Nalin De Silva, who was the chairman of the team that developed the bio engineering curriculum and syllabi, and the Registrar Mr. Edwards, Professor Homa Vanya Singham, Mrs. Jayasuriya, in the head table, as well as all the members of the council, all members of the Senate, professors, deans, rectors, and all distinguished invitees. It's my pleasure to be here at the launch of the Faculty of Engineering of the University of Colombo. So this was, according to Professor Vijayaratna and everybody else, a long felt need of the University of Colombo to have this Faculty of Engineering established in these premises under the University of Colombo. So I was invited to become the leading point and prepare a curriculum and syllabi, as well as give other support for the establishment of logistics and everything else. So whatever support we could offer from our side. So therefore, I gathered the team of senior consultants, and then we embarked on this work. It took many months and several rounds of discussions and revisions, continuous revisions. From the first draft to the final one, which was discussed today at the stakeholder meeting. So there are a few more suggestions from the stakeholders also. So we will try to incorporate all these valid suggestions into the already developed curriculum, so that we can make it complete to take into account the concerns and suggestions of the stakeholders that we invited. So we developed our team developed the curricula and syllabi for the common engineering intake. Professor Nalin De Silva handled the bioengineering curriculum and syllabi. We handled the common engineering intake, which will specialize into civil and environmental engineering. There are 4 specializations suggested: civil and environmental engineering, computer engineering, electrical and electronic engineering, and mechanical engineering. So Professor Indika Pereira oversaw the development of the computer engineering curriculum and syllabi. Professor Udanga Hemapala and Dr. Nuwan Dayananda oversaw the development of the electrical and electronic engineering curriculum and syllabi. Because that had 2 different areas, we needed two people, two main consultants. Professor Hemapala looked after the electrical part, and Dr. Nuwan Dayananda looked after the electronic part, and Dr. W.K. Vimalsiri looked after the mechanical engineering curriculum and syllabus. So, as I said, bioengineering curriculum was developed in-house by the team led by Professor Nalin De Silva. So we developed the framework first, the normal framework for academic credits and so on. All 4 syllabi All 4 courses were developed for 150 academic credits, 4-year full-time courses, 8 semesters, including 24 hours of industrial training. At the beginning, now we are suggesting to have it into 2 different segments, 12-week each. But there can be other ideas from different industries. But when I had the stakeholder meeting today with respect to the civil engineering, the industry also liked the idea of 2 different placements for at the 12-week, 2 different 12-week placements for industrial training. That was favored for civil engineering at least. But there may be other ideas in the other specializations which will come through and which can be handled once the Faculty of Engineering of University of Colombo is established. They can take up these issues and they can change these things accordingly and adapt to the situation. So we have developed this to satisfy the IESL, that is the Institute of Engineers Sri Lanka accreditation requirements under the Washington Accord, as well as SLQF level 7, because it is 150 credits. 150 credits is usually, it will satisfy the SLQF level 7. That is the level that is there for currently the engineering, professional engineering degrees in University of Peradeniya, Morutu and Ruhun and so on. So that there is some process to follow to get the level 7, but that is the syllabi that we have, the curriculum that we have proposed satisfies the requirements. First year is common, semesters 1 and 2. So the students will go through the first year, 2 semesters. At the end of the semester, their cumulative grade point average as well as their preferences will be taken into account to decide to which specialization out of these 4 they will be allocated to. So the selection of specializations will take place at the end of the first year. Now all these 4 specializations, I said, contain 150 credits minimum. Students can take a little bit more than that with the permission of the department, because there are a lot of electives available in each of these. Lot of electives are available in each of these curricula, especially towards the lower, the higher, the end of the program in the 4th year, mainly in the 4th year. Right? So we have also, because of the special interest shown by the University of Colombo, integrated circuit design has been included as a focus area under the electrical and electronic curriculum and syllabi, and mechanical engineering syllabi has been developed, curricula has been developed such that students can move to the mechatronics stream. There is a mechatronics stream consisting of 24 credits, so students can opt. Once they go into the mechanical engineering, they can opt for the mechatronics stream also. So this effort involved lot of subject specialists to develop the material, the syllabi, and the resources required, as well as the basic mapping that we need to satisfy the Washington Accord or IESL accreditation requirements. All these things are done. The assessment criteria, everything has been suggested. The faculty can change them as they wish later on, but this is the basic framework. Everything has been provided, and we are in the process of finalizing the laboratory requirements, the infrastructure, as well as the equipment. What are the resources required in that sense? So as I told you, the discussions and revisions of this original curriculum took place on several rounds, and today we presented the final curricula and syllabi that we had developed up to today to invited audience, audience of stakeholders, consisting of other universities which have engineering faculties, as well as representatives from the industry. So, as well as we have invited IESL representatives also. And we are very thankful for the comments given today, because this was the first time we opened it up to the general stakeholders, and we are thankful. Some comments, very little comments were received for, they appreciated the civil engineering curriculum. I will have to ask the other main consultants about their responses. On behalf of civil engineering curriculum, they appreciated the development of that one, and they gave very few suggestions. So we will include those suggestions. We can do that. And the final curriculum and syllabi we will give to the University of Colombo, so that they can once again put it through the Senate and get those approvals and send it to the UGC. And finally, I would like to thank all my main consultants who worked with me tirelessly for several months now. All the subject specialists, we had about maybe 120 or 150 subject specialists who were involved in developing the subject matter, detailed descriptors. I also would like to thank very much the Madam Vice Chancellor, and the University of Colombo administration for the continuous support given to us throughout, and encouragement given to us to do this work. The Senate, all the Senate members, all the deans, Professor Nalin Disilla also, the administration, and finally, I would like to thank Mrs. Subhashini Samarapon, who coordinated this effort throughout with competence. Thank you very much. Have a nice
Thank you, sir. May I now invite Senior Professor Chandrika N. Vijayaratna, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Colombo, to address the audience.
Ayubowan, Venerable Sirs of the academic staff, Senior Professor Kapila Pereira, Honorable Secretary of the Ministry of Education, Professor Anand Jayawardena and Professor Vasanthi Arasaratnam, who are representing the Chairman UGC, who is most unfortunately unable to join us due to personal commitments. And also the Vice Chairman of the UGC, respected members of the Council, among whom we have Professor Karunaratna, S. Karunaratna, a former member of the University of Moratuwa, fellow Vice Chancellors, particularly Vice Chancellor of Moratuwa and all state universities, Rector, Deans and Directors of the University of Colombo, Professor Shavanti Homavaniya Singham, and also all the heads of departments of engineering faculties of all the state universities, industry participants, subject experts, IESL members, and of course our two leads of the consultants, Professor Puswavela and Professor Nalin De Silva, members of the Senate, Registrar, Bursa, Librarian, and all administrative staff, representatives of the students, and particularly those from science and technology faculties. So on behalf of the University of Colombo, I welcome you all to the College House, which is a heritage building of 125 years, to these 100-year plus science, arts, faculties and library, which we celebrated this year. So today indeed is a red letter day, Honorable Secretary, because as was stated repeatedly, this was a long overdue addition to our galaxy of faculties. In fact, we have in the pipeline to even upgrade the Institute of Indigenous Medicine to be a faculty, but a faculty for engineering was discussed even for longer, and it has come to reality. And I'm very grateful to you, sir, because you gave us the green light along with the chairman UGC many months ago, and that gave all of us the courage and the encouragement to go further ahead, along with the support of the University of Moratuwa, which we shall never forget. So, seeing the light at the end of a very long tunnel of high-end learning, we are no doubt regaining a long-felt void. As when we go back to the history of higher education, modern higher education in Sri Lanka, no doubt Colombo was the pioneers. When I gather from the literature that probably our colonial masters did not really support high-end engineering learning in this country. It was more technical training. And then in the post-war era, when they decided that Sri Lanka should have degree awarding for engineering, Colombo was chosen and asked to develop a faculty, although it was meant for Peradeniya. So from 1950 to 1964, we have been housing and producing engineering graduates, men and women, but we lost that opportunity completely after it went to Peradeniya and then with the birth of Moratuwa. We probably felt it was somebody else's work and completely missed the fact, like what Professor Nalin said, about the fact that we lacked this very important component, particularly for our physical sciences graduates, our computer sciences graduates, as well as, no doubt, the biological sciences and medicine. So, as stated, we have now bridged that gap, hopefully, and I am extremely grateful for the course content, the layouts, the syllabi, and the professional and applied perspectives that you all have brought in today, and particularly to match the needs of the 21st century. And from the perspective of global, the creation of global citizens who are highly skilled, I think we need to appreciate that we have to think globally, act locally, and retain our local flavors and indigenous knowledge and practices as well. So, no doubt there is much more work to be done. We have to finalize all what we discussed today. I popped into each and every one of the breakout discussions, and I found that to be very engaging, particularly with the industry and their feedback. And that is where we need to pursue, hopefully with the support of all those of our hierarchy as well as our partners, not only in this country but in the region, particularly India, as well as because we have very strong links with the Indian Institute of Science and the IIT Mumbai, and also IIT Hyderabad to Professor Shavanti, who helped us in developing this, particularly the bioengineering model. And no doubt we need to go for a very strong faculty. I think that is extremely important, and I'm very proud of the bioengineering component, which happened so much with internal capacity. And that is something that we need to harness on. No doubt we have to develop that industry link, and I'm very grateful to Professor Gunarawan, who brought in 3 postdocs from Moratuwa in electronics engineering. And in fact, members of the council gave us the clear nod to go ahead and try to develop partnerships where if we could develop and be the conduit for producing the human capital for the industries, and particularly with a beautiful campus and one of the best, I would say, of the technology faculties, permit me to say that. Acting Dean is here, They have a smart set of students and in a beautiful campus, and I'm sure they will also benefit with the production of engineers. So I reiterate my appreciation to all those who have played this role, and I hope the Faculty of Engineering can go from strength to strength, and I would err in my duties if I do not echo the sentiments of our director of the School of Computing, that when this is established, we will be the one and only university offering all 7 degrees in relation to ICT. So I shall not go any further. I thank all the administrative officers, so ably led by Registrar and Bursa, who actually I had to do nothing for this arrangement. They did it all. And thank you very much to all of you. You all functioned as a team, and I hope you will have a very pleasant evening, and let us meet at a later date when we can actually see the first batch of graduating engineers from the University of Colombo. Thank you and stay safe.
Thank you very much, Madam. May I now invite Senior Professor Kapila C.K. Pereira, the Honorable Secretary, Ministry of Education, to address the audience.
Thank you very much. Very good evening to all of you. Ayuvan, Vanakkam, Assalamu alaikum. Professor Anand Jawardhan and Professor Vasanti, representing University Grants Commission on behalf of the Chairman, University Grants Commission, Vice Chancellor, University of Moratuwa, Vice Chancellor, University of Ruhuna, members of the Institute of Engineers Sri Lanka, the deans and the heads of the departments of other engineering faculties, industry participants, the members of the Council of University of Colombo, the Vice Chancellor, University of Colombo, Senior Professor, my colleague, Professor Chandrika Vijayaratna, Rector of the Sri Pali campus, Deans of the University of Colombo, Directors of the Institutes of University of Colombo, the Registrar and the Bursa of University of Colombo, staff of University of Colombo and University of Moratuwa, all the administrative staff, student representatives, the lead consultants of this endeavor, and the members of that team. On behalf of the Ministry of Education, it gives me immense pleasure to congratulate the Council of the University of Colombo and the Vice Chancellor and Deans of the faculties and the staff, administrative, academic, all, and the students of University of Colombo for taking this initiative. And human capital development in this country, a contribution which is spelled out in the national policy framework of Vistas of Prosperity and Splendor. And there are 3 policies from 10 key policies of Vistas of Prosperity and Splendor are a productive citizen and a vibrant human resource, people-centric economic development, technology-based society. I am sure all of you are, especially the Professor Kanwaratna and the team, the human resource management and the computers, all the people, can get more of a diagram to encompass or include all 10 key policies of Vistas of Prosperity, one way or the other, directly or indirectly, to this launching of the engineering faculty to justify and consolidate the need. And I will not reiterate because we all have heard
the long felt need for this one. I, for one, was thinking, what are the advantages of having an engineering faculty at the Colombo University or the University of Colombo? Whatever you want to call it, Colombo University or University of Colombo. What goes through my mind, Professor Javadhan is here, Professor Puswela is here, Dr. Vimasri is here, Professor Indika is here. When we wanted to have the business faculty at University of Moratuwa, there were lots of justifications needed why we are highly technical university, we have an identity, why a business faculty. But Professor Puswela would agree with me, whenever the IESL or the Washington Accord accreditation teams came, they always wanted to ask the question, where are these economics and the management for the engineers? So every time they highlight this one. So I remember once this was established, the electrical engineering degree program, the Washington Accord, the Accord accreditation team came from the IESL and the team. They were very happy. I remember a professor from India. They specifically highlighted, Professor Niranjan is here, then the Dean Faculty of Business, now the Vice Chancellor, and they commented this long felt need is now fulfilled. That is the business faculty establishment at University of Moratuwa. Likewise, when you have all music, dancing, visual and performing all these things at Sri Pali, you have indigenous medicine, you have lawyers producing, generating at University of Colombo, scientists producing at Colombo University, computer science, the scientists in School of Computing. I don't know what other things that you produce. You produce social sciences and humanities also. Management, of course, economics, business, management. Because when you produce a human being, generate human capital, when you come to the policy level and administrative level, you need to understand all. I mean, simply you take, if you are a member of a technical evaluation committee, to procure something to organize this event, we have the register, we have the bursa. You need to understand their language. You need to understand the language of the auditors, finance people. You can't say I'm an engineer, I'm a scientist. No, I worked at the Lawrence Livermore lab, and I worked at CERN, all these things. What do you know, Mr. Edward? What do you know, Mrs. Jayasuri? No. When it comes to these days, COVID-19, the indigenous medicine, all these things, you need to understand these things. So, when it comes to the visual and performing arts, where you have the Sri Pali campus, the musics and all these things, there is always music and the physics in the flutes, in the guitar, in singing. We have Professor Dr. Vimasri, who knows one of his best colleagues' son is doing engineering in music. Very famous today. Professor Puswela knows this son. So last week, I saw most of his songs go on there on a Dream Star. People were singing, and the music by this particular gentleman. That is audio engineering. Audio engineering. So there's engineering in everything. So what I'm trying to say is that you have everything in under one roof. So what we need to do in Sri Lanka, we have introduced the semester system in Sri Lanka. Ideally, eventually, one fine day, we need to make sure that the student is free to take any course, any module, be it social sciences and humanities, be it legal studies, be it indigenous medicine, be it medicine. Didn't forget that one. Didn't forget that one. Anything, because these students these days, you can't limit to one particular, window or a shelf. They should be free to take modules from University of Jaffna, any faculty, University of Sabaragamuwa, Rajarata, Wayamba, any place that they like, so that we synchronize the university education. So this is how in the Western world you can take any module and you can transfer credits. But that is an ideal situation. We are far from that. But what I see here is that this fast track way that you have done, because this is not an easy thing. When you want to establish a faculty, the proposal, for that matter, department, now I'll talk about the faculty, you need to have the faculty proposal developed within here. Thanks to our expertise led by two professors, they are both locals. And the team is all local consultants. No, I know professor is there, but that is for bio. Local, yes, thank you. So we have very eminent people who are experienced. I am sure Professor Puswela, Dr. Vimashiri, Professor Indika and the team. We have established engineering faculties, Rohana University, then Southeastern University, Jayawardena Pune University. All these things were developed by the locals, the curriculum. So we can be proud that we have produced the human capital who are capable. I spelled out some success stories. It's generated from Peradeniya and Rohuna. Also, most of the engineering faculties in the non-state higher education, this human resource is from our own made in Sri Lanka, generated in Sri Lanka, the bachelors for sure. So, what University of Colombo adding this jewel into the galaxy of faculties at Peradeniya University, we are doing this for not for me, not for you, for the people of this country. So therefore, we don't need to do a lot more talking on this one, but act fast. Because this process where you generate the proposal by the consultants, and that is here, this is the Faculty of Engineering curricula, and there are two things, I will talk about it, they're unique, and this process is very long, lengthy, taking long time. As what I have been given, the University of Colombo reinitiated the process of establishing a Faculty of Engineering as per the Senate and the Council endorsement of 2018. 2018, mind you. And that of University Grants Commission of 2019. We are in 2021, almost end. Today, 12th of November 2021. So this shows how long this process is, that you develop this concept, get the faculty approval, get the Senate approval, get the council approval. Out goes from the university to the University Grants Commission, Professor Jayawardena, is the chair of the Standing Committee of University Grants Commission, Engineering and Architecture. And then there, they will vet it and then get the quality assurance and accreditation seal, comment from all the other things. And then along with this one, you have to have a national planning department NPD approval, which I saw in this note, that is also there. Anyway, it's coming up. Approval in principle for establishing of the Faculty of Engineering at the University of Colombo, consequently granted its concurrence for the Ministry of Education, inform the National Planning Department NPD. So that is all bookwork. Now comes the infrastructure. So here I am very pleased to note University Council of University of Colombo has allocated 2-acre land for Faculty of Engineering, existing land of the university premises between the, whatever these rows, Stanley, Professor Stanley Ratna, Mamata Colombo 7, very, very important. Key, the location, when Lord Buddha was also coming, Kalaya, Deepaya, Desha, is very important strategic location in Colombo. And funding for this one is free, 2 acres in Colombo 7. So that is something that the ministry is noting. The land free available here is a location in Colombo. It's important. Otherwise, people will ask why you don't want to admit these students to University of Sri Jayawardenepura or Moratuwa, and because this is Colombo. So these things you need to justify. That's how the ministry looks at. Then comes money. So what I see, Professor Puswela mentioned that the laboratory equipment, and we were having chat with Professor Vanikasingam and Vice Chancellor, and Professor Puswela was the Dean, or I think Dean, Engineering. The alumni basically established laboratories at University of Moratuwa. One such was at Electrical Engineering by the first batch of engineering at University of Moratuwa, and a donation by Mr. U.D. Jayawardena, an entire the laboratory for electrical engineering, full-fledged, state-of-the-art laboratory. Professor Indika is there. I had the privilege of joining them at Computer Science and Engineering. Many of the industries came and then developed this lab. This is how it happens in other countries. I see this one in the public investment program. Public investment program is okay, but it's very difficult. So what Professor Nalin needs to look is that somehow approach these laboratories for the civil and environmental engineering, electrical and electronic engineering, mechanical engineering, mechatronics stream, computer engineering. So Dr. Funcheva knows about this one, how it is in Okinawa. I am sure all of you know who had done postgraduate degrees overseas. I did mine in United States. But many of these laboratories, you take MIT, you take Stanford, you take Berkeley, you take Caltech, you take Cornell. Most of these laboratories are sponsored by the industry. Nowadays, even more, because we are generating human capital for them to make their business. Because these products go to their industry. You take any, but we know that we have a limited industry, but we try somehow take this one. And of course, the management services department will approve harder for this one. That also we were thinking, we need to get good leaders to take these departments forward. And they will be sponsored by industry. Professor Jayawardena listening, he was the first NDB endowed professor. He went after this one. Likewise, many things came tomorrow too. I am sure other universities, Colombo, they will have. We will look for this one, Peradini, of course. And these things that we need to have, attract from the industry, they are the beneficiaries. Not all, but one few. And so that is for the human resource, because these human resources are limited and engineers are needed. And I am happy to note, having experienced this ESET score problem last year, new syllabus, old syllabus, which I think we need to put an end. We are intelligent enough, we are creative enough not to have two syllabuses in the future, my personal idea. I mean, syllabuses can be new after a few years, but you can have same question, old syllabus this set of questions, new syllabus this set of questions. But because why I am telling this one is, if you take for engineering for sure, first year common. What is there in this one? All this engineering mathematics, computer systems, properties of material, electrical circuits and systems, engineering mechanics, and that is civil and environmental. I think bio is a little different, but they have done A-levels now. Mathematics for biology, biology for mathematics, something like that, that was spelled. So it's mostly common. You take computer engineering, engineering mathematics, computer systems, properties of material, same thing. So when you have a new syllabus, because this mathematics they learn. And if it is a new curriculum, maybe for the science COVID come, let it be. But new or old, all will have to do this one. So we have to think differently and make sure the problem is solved. But what I am trying to get at is that Professor Niranjan Gunawardena and Professor Sujeev Amarasena, I must commend him. The numbers that he had taken to Ruhuna is 225 engineering, and moreover all the faculties came forward. We had, thanks to all the faculties of medicine, 554 in numbers they admitted without any physical. So my heartfelt gratitude as a secretary, not as anybody else, for all the deans who have taken the engineering. So 2023 total student at the end of the day 150. So 2027 900. That's why I said this is not for you and I, it's for the people of Sri Lanka that we produce these numbers. This is one of the key things, the science, maths, technology, engineering. So engineering will stay. Morato started with 4 streams: civil, mechanical, electrical, electronics. Still they are thriving. Number one is either computer or electronics. We have biomedical now. And these will not go away. But new things that have come, the integrated circuit design. There is a final year project, as Professor Nalin mentioned at the outset. Some of the things that the jobs will not be when I retire in 2 years. So Internet of Things, machine learning, fuzzy logic, artificial intelligence, and the students need to be given the basics of this one. You have the physics and finding resources to teach here with well-versed, internationally reputed, high H indexes. All the professionals in this house, they will contribute to generate and help nurture these young inquiring minds who are aspiring to join Colombo University engineering faculty, and we would support every endeavor without any borders, whether this faculty or that faculty. That is the job, the statutory requirement, statutory responsibility of the Ministry of Education and the Higher Education component with the University Grants Commission. I will thank on behalf of the Honorable Minister and the Ministry of Education all the very best, and congratulate once again the team for taking this endeavor, and the Council of the University of Colombo, Senate of the University of Colombo, and all the faculties, deans for supporting this endeavor. And it's difficult, but one fine day you can see, you can be happy that when the engineers produced from this faculty as well as other faculties will generate more development-oriented students to Sri Lanka. One of the key things, the last point that I want to highlight is that we want to make sure that we attract not only the local students. We should, because the strategic location being Colombo, with all these faculties in-house, the services in-house, you must target attracting foreign students to this faculty in big numbers, where you can generate self-sufficient market University of Colombo, and that will basically give impetus for the other faculties, the Sri Pali or the indigenous medicine or the other faculties, because we can do this one. We can do this one. If you have the will, there is a way. Thank you very much. Nandri.
Thank you, sir. May I now invite Senior Professor Chandrika N. Vijayaratna, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Colombo, to present tokens of appreciation. To Senior Professor Kapila C.K. Pereira, the Honorable Secretary, Ministry of Education, Sri Lanka. Professor Shervanti Homer Vanniyasingham, Professor of Engineering and Surgery, University College London, and Senior Research Advisor, University of Colombo. Senior Professor Nalin De Silva of the Faculty of Science, University of Colombo, and the Chairman of the Curriculum Development Committee of the Bachelor of Science Honours in Bioengineering. Senior Professor U.G.A. Puswewala of the University of Moratuwa and Lead Consultant, Establishment of Faculty of Engineering, University of Colombo. Mr. K.A.S. Edward, Registrar of the University of Colombo. Mrs. K.S.T.S. Jayasuriya Berza of the University of Colombo. Thank you, madams, and thank you, sirs. And now, to propose the vote of thanks, may I invite Mr. K.A.S. Edward, Registrar of the University of Colombo.
Good evening to all of you. Reverend sirs, respected Secretary to the Ministry of Education, Professor Kapila Sipera, Senior Professor Vasanthi Asharatnam, Commission Member UGC, Senior Professor A.K. W. Anand Jayawardena, Chairman, the Standing Committee of Engineering and Architecture, UGC, Vice Chancellor, University of Colombo, Professor Chandrika Vijayaratna, Senior Research Advisor, University of Colombo, Professor Shremanthi Homa Manikasinkam, Professor of Engineering and Surgery, University of College, London, Vice Chancellors of the other universities who joined this event via online, lead consultants of the Faculty of Engineering, Senior Professor U.G. Puswawala, co-consultants, Professor K.T. M.U. Hempala, Professor G.I.U.S. Pereira, Dr. W.K. Vimalasiri, Dr. N.W.N. Dayananda, Bioengineering team headed by Professor K.M. Nalin D. Silva, representatives of IESL and Professor T.L. Gunarwan and his team, respected council members, rector, deans of the faculties, directors of the institutes, the acting librarian, the bursar, administrative and finance officers, the heads of the departments, professors, associate professors, director, Center for Quality Assurance, and all the academic support and non-teaching staff, the distinguished invitees, ladies and gentlemen, dear students. It's a great pleasure and honor for me to propose vote of thanks on this grand, memorable and historic occasion of the stakeholders meeting and launching of the Faculty of Engineering of the University of Colombo. First and foremost, I would like to extend my deep sense of gratitude and indebtedness to Senior Professor Kapila C. Pereira, the Secretary to the Ministry of Education, for gracing this occasion and for sharing your inspirational thoughts in your speech. Sir, I am deeply indebted to record our deep sense of appreciation for your continued and valuable contributions towards the betterment of the University of Colombo. Thank you, sir. Even though the UG's chairman and vice chairman are unable to be present here with us today due to other official commitments, on behalf of the University of Colombo, I wish to extend our deep sense of gratitude to Senior Professor Sampath Amaratunga, the UG's chairman, and the Senior Professor Chandana P. Udavatta, the vice chairman of the UGC, for their continued contribution towards the betterment of University of Colombo. I take this great opportunity to express our sincere thanks and heartfelt gratitude to Senior Professor Vasanthi Asharatnam, Senior Professor A.K.W. Anand Jayawardena, who joined this event online, and Senior Research Advisor of University of Colombo, Professor Shremanthi Homa Manikasinkam, for gracing this historical occasion. We are profoundly thankful to the members of our council for their potential contributions, unstinted support and valuable guidance for the uplift of the status of the university throughout the period. My special thanks go to our Madam Vice Chancellor, Professor Chandrika Vijayaratna, for her invaluable guidance, leadership and encouragement and inspirational thoughts which have immensely contributed to make this event grand and momentous. Thank you, Madam. Let me also express our sincere thanks to the Vice Chancellors of all universities, academic members of engineering faculties of other universities who are present here and join online for gracing this very special occasion. On behalf of the university, I would like to express my gratitude to the lead consultants of the Faculty of Engineering, Senior Professor U.G. Puswawala, co-consultant Professor K.T. M.U. Hempala, Professor G.I.U.S. Pereira, Dr. W.K. Vimalasiri, Dr. N.W.N. Dayananda, bioengineering team headed by Professor K. Nalin D. Silva, for their untiring contribution to develop the curricula of the course of studies leading to engineering degrees. My heartfelt thanks to Rector, Deans of the faculties, Directors of institutes, Bursa, Acting Librarian, Administrative and Financial Officers of the departments, units, professors, associate professors, academic and academic support staff and non-teaching staff for gracing this occasion and for their valuable contribution, guidance and encouragement in all our efforts. Let me also express our thanks to the students of the University of Colombo for gracing this occasion. We are also pleased to mention on this occasion that you should be the proudest segment of the students of the University of Colombo to witness the momentous occasion of launching the Faculty of Engineering, University of Colombo. I also express my special gratitude to Dr. Hiran Jayavira and FOS Media team, Faculty of Science Media team, Mr. Layan, Mr. Rusiru, and NOC team for their hard work and commitment to make this event a great success. Our special thanks go to Professor Nalin D. Silva for delivering the welcome speech and Mr. R.Y.H. Alvis Senaratna for comparing this function. I thank you, members of the media, for evincing interest in covering the entire event, all good hearts who work behind the screen. I wish to thank all the distinguished invitees for accepting our invitation and being present here both physically and online to grace this occasion. Last but not least, let me express my special thanks and gratitude to our organizing team, Assistant Registrar Mr. Subhasan Samarakon, Senior Assistant Registrars Mr. Prasanna D. Silva, Mrs. Kumari Sinivaratna, Assistant Registrar Ms. Gayani D. Silva, Works Engineer Mr. Rahal Abiratna, Curator Mr. Prasad Vimalasiri, and their teams, the marshals, security officers, the staff and the general staff for your untiring service, commitment and support to make this event a grand and resounding success. Once again, I thank you all for your enormous cooperation in the organizing of this event. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. And that brings us to the conclusion of the ceremony to launch the Faculty of Engineering of the University of Colombo. May I invite all gathered here today to join us to dinner at Boardroom 1 and 2. Thank you and have a pleasant evening.